What's up, Shroomies? Getting ready to update the visual style and the style guide for our three pillars of design. So this is the old one from a few years ago, where we started doing thumbnails and colors, following the kind of standard production pipeline for visual development. So we had the old sombrero, more skinny looking, kind of plain graphical style mesh character, which I still like. Probably make a character out of him still, and all the sculptures. So this old document here. Um, Updating. So I'm going to go from the gesture, line of action, solid silhouette, value, pattern, color. So I'm getting ready to do that in um, Photoshop. So I just started the new um, set of videos on visual development, doing gesture, line of action, silhouette. I'm also updating the background civilization. So for architecture, so I have the cityscape here, and we'll start doing that. So I'm going to do some drawovers and break out some of the individual buildings that I found. That's some pretty cool detail in there. I had like little mushroom, like almost like palm tree, like they've been trimmed and shaped like individual spires or um, stems have pushed out to like push out to make a shared cap. So I think what I'll do with that is go back into the line work here and maybe accentuate that using some of the like almost like a turtle shell, like the individual cap, individual stems had an individual cap, and then they all interlink together. So that's just one building. I could go through. I'll do this in a separate one to do a modular kit for the building. So hide the gestures. Also appears some fun little platforms that go up, and then end with little top little ecosystems on there. Of course, there's the multi-split, almost more like a tree shroom. Another one of almost a palm base going up. This one's a little more shell-like, and I had little architecture pieces. You can see arches and arcades. So we're going to do the door for introduction to scripting class. So we'll do the basics on all the doors and platforms. There's another. These are a little more almost like a little robot, more sci-fi looking. But I played with a bunch of ideas on this. I think at the time I was looking at Rick and Morty and Futurama, some like sci-fi base. Here's another one that had like some arches and arcades on there. So the other thing we'll have on the switches here are maybe some spinning ramps, some elevators, definitely some of these mushrooms. There's a more of a coral reef one. We'll have a mushroom that kind of can swivel and move up and down like an elevator. So elevators, lifts, doors, switches as well. So this will be a fun background to design. And so this is a really old one from the 2D side scroll one, which I had reframed during our game jam to just, kind of get us in the mindset of how far back we're zooming. And so yeah, we're going to take that one and we're updating it now in PureRef. So the pillars of visual design we've defined now. Ooh, that was fun. As the Alabrijas, Talavera, Calacas, Calaveras, a kind of painted skull uh, patterns, and from the Alabrijas, from the sculptures, define mixed together, not defined, but being defined by mixing these patterns, which maybe are a little bit more man-made, with some psychedelic, kind of more geometric. And then that'll be blended with also put some skulls and some patterns, bright colors. So we're going to mix together some muted colors with bright colors. The second pillar is defining patterns in nature from a more illustrative style. So going through their Ernst Haeckel plates and finding all these really cool kind of long or illustrative type plates for almost anything he drew is just freaking amazing. You can see all the little geometric patterns. So I think we had that on the Queen, Mushroom Queen Riza. These would be fun to look at for her dress and her other items. And there's some color ones too, Art Forms of Nature by Haeckel. And also the second pillar is the bioluminescence that exists in the patterns in nature. So we have some of the glowing mushrooms and deep water plants, squid, cuttlefish, the caves with the glowworms, or the larva. I forget which bug the larva turns into. So that's the second pillar. So the colors and patterns and skulls existing in the Day of the Dead patterns, psychedelic mushroom patterns. and the second one being the bio patterns in nature, biological patterns on bioluminescence. The third pillar for the visual development of this will be appears the polymorphic shapes and some giant colossal alien remains of not just colossal, a variety of size too, all the way down to small and little crushed husks of skeletons and a blend of impossible like underwater marine life, almost like coral looking. So you want to kind of blend together terran or terrest things that you see on land, underwater, and in like giant gaseous formations. So we really want to play with the surrealism for these big mega structures that are going to blend like redwood size and bigger trees and columns and speleothemes, and that should say mineral formations that have flow rock and other grand calcified petrified mycelium networks throughout like a vertical bone. So we're going to create these big giant canopies, looking at the baobabs trees and the redwoods, and then turn them into these giant mushroom pillars. And the last one I'll put on there are like giant rock speleotheme formations, which I have here. See how fast I can bounce around all these things. Speleothemes, caves and speleothemes. Here we go. So, yeah, taking these formations and just blowing them up into gargantuan sized things that are actually, it does turns out mycelium does actually grow through and help build these formations. So I want to take these formations and blend them into petrified or mineral combination giant myco trees. So understanding stalagmites, stalactites, and how the speleothemes and flowstones work, as well as looking at some of the large cave systems that exist in nature. Let's see, game level design. Is it in this one? Oh, giant crystal formations too. These are, of course, like super amazing. So let's see what else I got here. That's caves. That the same as this one? Oh no, that is not the same as this one. Do I have it open twice? I don't. Okay, yeah, caves and speleothemes I have actually separate. So just studying caves by themselves. What are the deepest caves, deepest parts of the ocean, longest caves? So did a pure ref board on each of these so we know what it looks like. And these are just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to take a lot of inspiration and shots from this. And remember, we're looking at having the visual development side of this. Let me make sure I get to the right one. That is the level design one. Make sure that always level design. This is going into our first level, which I got to put the update on there for the one that Jake banged out, which was pretty cool. Let's see, mushroom reference. We have another pure ref and mushroom reference one. So all of these, maybe I'll segue into that. Let me just pull up the one correct one that I wanted. Yes, this one. Okay. Yeah, that there's artificial skies. So in these biomes, they're so deep. They're like the Earth's crust. It's not a hollow Earth. It's more of a crusty Earth. Like the Earth layer in the top is very deep. There's lots of chasm. I think that Abyss anime is kind of fun, like having lots and lots of those crust formations going down, kilometers of depth, and that the skies of these false skies are actually layers of deep, dense gaseous clouds that to the myconoids and the creatures that live underground, to them, that's the sky. Like they never venture all the way high enough, and we'll treat them as false atmospheric layers. Also, the other part of polymorphism is sexual dimorphism, showing distinct and visual appearance between XX and XY creatures, and mimicry, biomimicry, which I can maybe add the word biomimicry. Is maybe that's not right, but anyway, so that you can see different creatures and plants and fungi kind of mimic each other so that they kind of blend together. So it'll be a really fun thing to play around with biomimicry. So I have some biomimicry on polymorphism shapes here. And you can see the different layers of the biome as we go down the depths into the depths of these chasms. I want to do like stratified layers so that you can have gases and color palettes designating differences in the diversity of the patterns and colors of the creatures, so the creatures will match, like you see on the frogs here and the birds will match what they the area they dwell inside of, and then we're going to do some large skulls. This mostly has human skulls, but just various surreal, just fantastical skulls will come with a bunch of gargantuan creatures and beasts to have remains that have overgrowths on there. So that's our new pillars of visual design. I am currently in the middle of, let me make sure I save everything as I go. Everything's being updated, so we're going to have a ton of stuff in here. Here's our mushroom reference board if you want to see the different parts of the cap, the stem, the gills. We had the request from Jake to have more stem shapes to have them kind of give us a lot of flexibility in platforming, so we'll look at that again. And I'll add that into our new updated level design project. Here's the Speleo theme one, and here's the, let's see, we should have cave and Speleo themes only open once, right? Okay, so yeah, I did open it up twice on accident. So whoops, thought I did. All right, cool. All right, so all of this exists in the collaboration folder. So if you have the collaboration folder shared, at the very top level, you'll see anything that has pure ref next to it. You can see here is a World of Mesh pure ref, World of Mesh mushrooms pure ref. I've been breaking them into separate pure ref files. So I got Archer there for Nick's characters to finish up. We got the Cave Speleo themes, our World of Mesh collaborative brainstorm. That's not a pure ref. That's our documents, right? Pure ref. There's critters pure ref. We haven't looked at critters yet, so I could easily go in here and see if we can find critters pretty fast. Yeah, here's a critters one, which goes along with what I'm doing tonight, today, the next day is coming up with not only the door and the basic movement through, but also looking at different critters for the Sizin, the children of Sizin, the evil Mayan god of death and earthquakes. And so we're gonna finish working on the hurdle hopper. So we'll help Nick do some definition and some next level sculpting on this hurdle hopper. I'll do some variants. We'll have some species. I also wanted to show how the hurdle hoppers might exist and fall and land and cannonball on top of creatures to defeat them. So looking at other creatures that actually use their head in the skull's battering rams, other hooks like the different ends and antenna, and what are the model kit parts to make critters. Mandibles, so I have some models on that. Scorpions, whip spiders, you got some really cool ones started. So we're gonna do some next phase stuff on that as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's all found inside of the main collab folder right here in the top, so your pure ref, as well as inside production pipeline, you have environment. No, let's see, I've been moving stuff over so a lot of stuff I've moved into the 2005 team organization one, right? So the demo game jam one is where I'm putting a lot of the brand new stuff that we're banging out right now. So game jam objectives, I'll go back and look at that and see how much we got through. Experimental modalities is something we want to look at for over the summer. And yeah, this is what I'm working on right now, the thumbnail group, so I'll show you that in just a moment. But I also wanted to make sure you knew inside the main collaboration folder, inside production pipeline, we have characters set up. There is a character design pipeline. So right now I had started one for fungi design. There's Queen Riza, so we have one for Queen Riza right here. So let's see if double click that one. You see there's the queen's body that's just kind of done already. We just got to give her her garb, her queen's garb. So she had the first one, clothing inspiration, and some different nets and things like that. Miss Maz is one I was looking at. Oh yeah, they're going to be inside the individual characters. So we have the alchemist Miss Maz. Here she is. And there's the Miss Maz reference. So I'm really looking at this one. I want to finish this character too. This is pretty much done. Like I just did like a watercolor draw over and mix together all the best stuff from Dorothy's amazing drawing. So she's ready to go. I think if someone wants to finish Ms. Maz, that would be cool. Archer's ready to go. Archer's just needs his character sheet filled out. So there should be a document that we do for each of the characters, which is in, I believe, story. So inside story, no. Character packets, yes. So each character should have a character packet done for story. So the character packet is, if we look at Shroomies, Mush, let's see, do we have, I thought we had Moz. There's Frux. Started one on Frux, this is the gardener. Not sure what that was for. But each of these should have, we think we're thinking of turning the samurai type of character, the champignons, into like a cast of society. These will have the physical, psychological, social, tridimensional, as well as sounds. So we're doing all the sound design, so iconic traits and storytelling traits, and then into voiceover acting. So I think inside the sounds, the timbre, this would be the sounds of their voice, basically. We could do slash voiceover if you want to call it that. But there's any other sounds you have in there. We're going to do the sound recordings for each of the characters. I already kind of was goofing around with Muck with Frux. Oh yeah, we do have the Miss Moz. There's Miss Moz packet. So Miss Moz is have this filled out. We just need to have a finish on the iconic traits for Miss Moz. So one packet per main character would be useful. Here's Mush is a good example to look at. Still needs a summary written up. This is filled out, and this is mostly filled out. We just need his powers filled in there. So yeah, and here's the ZBrush model. So it's coming along. So I just did some videos on that as well. So you'll find that the low poly model is ready. And now if we subdivide, I'm just getting ready to finish up. But I wanted to do some details on his toe hoof nails and his finger kind of claw hoof nails that he uses to dig and cling to the side of walls and climb. And then I'll do variants on the mushroom cap. So that's getting wrapped up in ZBrush. So as I finish up the main character here and implement the new or the final touches on the visual direction, we could then start implementing across the board the color and patterns that merge together the pickups, the ones, and as well as the infected ones, the ones we want to destroy and land on. So you want to collect the good. Um, you want to collect the good clusters and destroy the bad ones, right? So these are turned out really good. Where's the ones I had for Shroomy that was done? It's not. Sorry, I'm zooming around on you guys. The interface, took a crack at that, bringing that in. I forget what these are called. I got to label those. And yeah, so I'm going to do a bunch of drawings right now. That's the gesture and then silhouette, and then color and pattern at last. So these colors and patterns based off of the Calacas calaveras and alejibres, psychedelic mushroom patterns, the Ernst Haeckel, and then the polymorphism patterns. So these patterns will match up with the patterns that we're going to add in here. So we could do overlays between the characters because they're polymorphism, they match together, they're camouflaged together, as well as bringing that in to the space with the critters. Where'd my critter one go? Darn, I thought I had them all open. But yeah, side by side by side, it's a lot of work. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get something really defined for everybody. Steven had asked as well to have the art direction finalized. He said the storyboard's close. It's good. It's a start, but we have to define a little bit more detail so he can do the sounds. We're also going to do a meeting and break open the sounds. McKean has joined us as well as, let's see, wait, is it Dylan? Yeah, so we have some other people joined us as well. My God, our team's getting so big now that I have to actually go in and double check what we're doing with Discord. So yeah, the new bad guy is in. The man got a death, and we had our announcements here. So yeah, I guess maybe I'll come back to meeting and planning. Yeah, here we go. So let's see if we got our votes for Saturday. There's 8 votes. And yes, okay, good. So I got our newer members, Dylan and McKean can be there as well. We got Josh, Una, and awesome Saturday evening. Sweet. So yeah, we'll get them plugged in. So I'm showing a lot of this for them as well, and also this part here, particular for McKean. And if when Raiden gets time for the level design, we want to really get some pathing and storyboarding done. Make sure you get some destinations, some pathways, and kind of figure out what we're going to do with these tunneling things. So I'm going to draw up a bunch of initial ones here in Photoshop. So finish up some cast of characters, see if I can get the color patterns of the old ones or at least the designs for the old ones that we liked. So there's no sense getting rid of all these. Some of them are actually pretty good between these ones and these ones. I'll bring some of those in and then accentuate them with the environment and buildings. and then color them, and then start to lay out some dungeon levels with the background intact and a lot of the big platforming stuff. So that's the update for this week. I will hope to see you all Saturday. Take care. Mush on.